The Stranger in a Strange Land project, the how I chose to approach it was through the movie Parasite. I visited this film through watching it virtually as a movie via DirecTV and Netflix. Had I not experienced this film virtually, I would have contacted the Las Vegas Korean Association for information on upcoming events to attend. Also, I would have planned to visit Koreatown, located in Las Vegas, which is a hospitality and retail area primarily for Korean businesses located on the west side of the Las Vegas Valley. The reason why I am speaking so much about the Korean population is that this movie takes place in Korea, and it has to do with the two Korean families. The setting for Parasite takes place in Korea, with the film partly taking place in a halfway underground banjiha. A banjiha is an off-alleyway basement apartment, and in this, where it partly takes place, is a basement underground apartment with minimal space for the Kim family of four, which are the primary participants in the film. The banjiha is located off a back alleyway in a low section of Seoul susceptible to flooding. They live in a series of underground basement apartments along a narrow alleyway, all lined up in a row. They live in one of the basement underground apartments. The other part takes place in a mansion in the upper hills of Seoul, which is the residence of the Park family. The Park's residence has gated entry with an automatic garage that opens via a remote device. This home offers luxurious space with idyllic surroundings such as a spacious backyard with a manicured lawn and beautiful green trees that separate the family from the outside world. This film appealed to me because of the vast differences in culture, different from my own culture. On the one hand, the Kim family is an unemployed family who struggle with everyday life, all the while seeking current job opportunities to provide for the basic needs of survival. On the other hand, the Park family mocks those of a hard-working lower social economic status by flaunting their wealth and their life of privilege. The primary participants. This film is about wealth versus poverty. It denotes the wealth gap between two distinct families. The primary participants are comprised of a family of four of lower socioeconomic status, and the secondary participants are comprised of a family of four who are of a higher socioeconomic status. The primary participants are the Kim family, who are a poor family, namely a Korean female who is a mother, a wife, another Korean female who is a daughter, a sister, a Korean male who is a father, a husband, and another Korean male who is a son as well as a brother. This family is of low socioeconomic status, experiencing the trial and tribulations of trying to survive everyday unemployed life in modern-day Korea. Secondary participants. The secondary participants consist of a family of four, namely a Korean female who is also a mother, a wife, another Korean female who is a daughter, a sister, a Korean male who is a father, a husband, and another Korean male who is a son, a brother, all who are seeking to maintain the status quo. This is a story that pits the wealthy Parks against the unemployed Kim family, who slowly infiltrate the Parks household. The Kims con their way into the Parks home by persuading the family to employ each of them at different times for various job roles needed to be fulfilled in the household. The Kims masterfully eliminate the other job roles previously maintained by other hired applicants within the Parks household. This film displays a lot of economic disparities, and it is in that way that the Kims begin to occupy and employ themselves within the Park household. As the Kims wishfully occupy their way into the Parks home, they are soon disillusioned by how the Parks really see them as second-rate citizens. The Park family accentuate this in how they express the scent that the Kims carry within when each enters the home. The Park family liken it to as being an odor from the subway. It is a scent that is of displeasure to the Parks family, and each take notice of it. It is particularly noticeable noticeable when the Park's family's father, Park Dong-ik, as well as Park's family mother, Chung Yeong-gae, are driven around by the Kim family father, who is Kim Ki-taek, who is the family's chauffeur, as he drives the family members to their destinations. They both take notice of the scent. The mother and father in the Park family both take notice of the scent that alludes by pinching their nose when they are riding in the car with him, the chauffeur. It is as if the smell is too much for them to bear. And we see it again with the Park's family son, Park Do-sung, with the Kim family mother's presence in the home, Kim's family mother, Kim Chung-suk, as she cooks for the Park's family, along with the Kim family son and daughter whose presence in the home is as tutors to the Park's family son, Park Do-sung, and daughter Park Do-hev. Park Do-sung makes notice of the scent they give off as being similar to that of the Kim family father, the chauffeur, as well as the mother, the family cook, as he encounters both of them in his home. The secondary participants, the Park family, were impacted by the primary participants, the Kim family, in the way they looked down on them for their lower socioeconomic status, in which they likened them to carrying a particular scent that they perceived to be that of a lower-standing citizen, a scent that comes from living in the city, a scent that is distinctive of living by the subway, or one that correlates to a lower standard of living in Korea. As I see it from my own culture standpoint, as far as my Cape Verdean heritage, I was raised back east where most of the Cape Verdean population resides. Cape Verdean populations have grown and evolved in both northern and southern California as well. However, a great deal of the Cape Verdean population resides in Massachusetts, particularly the South Shore and the cities of Taunton, Fall River, New Bedford, as well as the Cape Cod area. There is a high concentration of Cape Verdeans in Rhode Island as well. We are a group that is comprised of a village of people with a disposition similar to our Portuguese counterparts. With that, I mean the Portuguese who also reside in those same areas through migration from Portugal. For most of us of Cape Verdean Portuguese descent, it is our nature to offer help to those in need around us. I am reminded that there are others who do not have it as easy as I do. As an occupational therapist, work in various jobs from home during this unprecedented time. I was raised to live an honest life, being mindful and helpful to others at all times, and particularly during turbulent times. This is what this film reminds me of. My reaction to the film. What I gathered from this film was the needs of basic survival for one family and a needs of exploitation of a hard-working life for another family considered to be less fortunate. And individuals of a lower economic status in Korea do not seem to have readily access to areas that help them in meeting their basic hierarchy of needs, such as food and shelter. Something I observed in the film is that with most cultures, no matter what the socioeconomic status is, most groups, the priority, I find, seems to be the possession of a cellular phone, as each member had one in this film. If anything, the importance and essence of a cellular phone is to keep in stride with the current events and current times. The cellular phone appears to be a basic need in today's everyday world for most people. Also, I looked at the living situation, shelter, of this family to be short-term due to the inclement weather and continuous flooding that followed in the area in which they lived. I might add, during the film, the Kim's family lost their home and most of their belongings to flooding due to a torrential downpour that most often leaves damage to those living in low sector areas such as the area where the Kim's family lived. I felt sad, despondent, and conflicted with the Kim's family as they, in their perception of everyday life as a sort of must-get job opportunity to survive everyday life, as well as to keep and maintain the very little that they had. I thought about this when reflecting back and thinking about all that I have and how easy it is for me to access such basic needs. For one, by owning a vehicle to get where I need to go to access such things as food and job opportunities. And most often, job opportunities are offered to me by word of mouth. I'm privileged there. But this family does not own a vehicle, and the family of the lower socioeconomic status, and they travel everywhere on foot, moving from one destination to another, all the while with the preoccupation of how the next job opportunity will come to them. If I were to have been a part of this engagement, I would look to affect this group by empowering them and highlighting their strengths, and use those strengths as a means to get ahead. But it is likely that I would not experience this situation in the country of Korea, where the setting is. However, if I were to witness this in my community, I would look to assist individuals that have less means or decreased access to things and offer them ways to gather those resources, be it by contacting food banks, going to food banks, or job opportunities. I feel in my everyday life as an occupational therapist, as I work in early intervention with families in their homes who have children of varying disabilities, that I am an educator. I am a listener to their thoughts and needs, and I am an advocate for them. This is my everyday life. I work with a multidisciplinary team with families of all socioeconomic status, as well as with families of multiracial, multi-ethnic backgrounds. Each day, we teach families how to access resources and help them to build a greater standing throughout education and engagement in the community. Although I think I can always do better by being more active in social causes in the community, that particularly with those situations affecting the poor and disadvantaged. I have come to the realization that I should engage in volunteering at 3 Square, which gives out food to the needy, such as the homeless and disproportionate. I feel I should advocate for such causes as equity in housing and as well as access to healthy food for the needy.